All right, so I've let you know that there has been a dramatic shift in the conflict that's going on in the Middle East between Israel and Iran, and we're hearing that things could be going nuclear now. As take a look at the latest headlines with me. Israel will strike Iran's nuclear operations. Former IDF general predicts this coming out today, October the 25th, just a little while ago. I'm going to share with you the latest details, as we had heard that this was a potential option, that there were 3 potential hits that Israel was looking at in retaliation for the October 1st attack. And we had heard that those 3 things were nuclear facilities, which the United States and even Russia had warned do not do, oil refineries, and also we had heard military assets or leaders, which was originally what we had heard. But now that has all changed, as I shared with you, that we had heard that Israel said that they had delayed their Iranian strike after the U.S. intel leak on the attack plans. Report by UK's Times says that Israel has developed an alternative course of action, but must wargame it before proceeding due to the need to change certain strategies and components. They're saying everything has changed now as a result of that leak. What they were planning before has changed, and also the duration, the time frame has changed, as they said they wanted to avoid disrupting the U.S. elections, that it would happen before November 5th. Now they're saying the time frame has changed, the strategy has changed, and now we also have a former IDF leader that is coming out and saying he also thinks that Israel will be going nuclear. Now, take a look at this. We actually have a response coming out from Iran. Iran warns America's limited THAAD missile system that Israel now has is not going to be enough to protect Israel. They said, we will destroy you with the retaliation that we will have coming back after you hit us. Here's another article coming out just yesterday. Don't count on THAAD for your protection. IRGC issues renewed threats to Israel. Don't count on THAAD. Every time you fire a projectile, we will fire more than you, Salmani reportedly said. Now, I'm going to share with you the details, and this comes, as I shared with you just yesterday, we had a mysterious fire erupt at Iran's Karaj nuclear power plant. The article says a fire broke out at Iran's Karaj nuclear power plant amid reports of a terror attack. A fire has reportedly broken out at Karaj's nuclear power plant in Iran, according to an initial claim from an opposition group. As per the reports of the Israeli news, they're saying that this was Israel. Now, let me know your thoughts. Many people saying this was a covert operation by Israel to hit a nuclear facility. Other people saying no damage was actually done. It was just basically a fire on the premise that it might be a false flag by Iran to accuse Israel and try to create an excuse to hit them back. Now, if you think that this is an actual Israeli hit, drop a 2. If you think this is a false flag, drop a 1 in the comments. I'd be curious to see what people's thoughts are. Now, while you're dropping those, also don't forget to hit the like button. Help spread this out further. Subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free, and I cite all the sources. All of these articles are linked in the description. And in addition to that, take a look at this. Coming out just about an hour, maybe 2 hours ago now. Explosion reported as well in a building allegedly belonging to the Iranian security system in Tehran, as we're hearing that there has been a massive explosion that has taken place. And again, suspected potential Israel covert operation or another false flag. Let me know your thoughts on this, as we're seeing now another just random explosion taking place in Iran. And this comes, as I mentioned, things are escalating, and in fact to the point where today I shared with you earlier in the live stream that we heard that there is a worldwide caution coming out from the United States. Take a look. This is the official website, U.S. Department of the State, Bureau of Consular Affairs, travel.state.gov. This is also linked in the description, as they are saying there is a major security alert, worldwide caution right now. They're saying social media posts on various platforms are calling for demonstrations at U.S. and Israeli facilities today, Friday, October the 25th. They are saying avoid rallies, avoid demonstrations wherever possible, exercise caution when in the vicinity of large gatherings, and at peaceful demonstrations even, they have the potential to become violent, the warning says. This coming out today because of the escalations that are taking place right now in the Middle East. They're saying if you are a U.S. citizen, if you are an Israeli citizen, to use the utmost caution, especially today. And as we get closer to the U.S. elections, as we've received warnings of physical and cyber attacks on the day of and as we approach. Now, this comes as we are also hearing that Iran is threatening specifically Donald Trump for the assassination that took place years ago on Soleimani. And take a look, Trump coming out and saying just yesterday, hey, Trump says Iranian regime would not have to end if he were the president. He suggests that there is a way for them to close on peace. Donald Trump saying, listen, we can stop the conflict in the Middle East. We need to take away Iran's nuclear facilities, their nuclear ability to have a weapon, as they shout death to America, death to Israel. But he's saying we can do this and also have peace at the same time. Donald Trump coming out and saying that. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you the latest information coming out on this. All these articles are cited in the description below. And like I said, if you guys appreciate the updates, do me a quick favor. I see we've got 2,100 people live with me. If you appreciate the updates, take a second. Hit that like button for me. Just takes a second to click that. It helps out the channel a ton, spreads this out further so more people can get the latest updates. So if you appreciate it and you haven't done so yet, please take a second to do so. Also, hit subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. Make sure you're staying subscribed. I haven't heard any people recently tell me that they have just randomly been unsubscribed, but I have in the past. So hopefully the YouTube settings update, whatever it was that was causing it, has gone away. But make sure you're staying subscribed, and to get notified, click the bell, turn it to all, and you'll get notified. Now, if you don't want to get notifications when I go live, that's fine. You can still hit the subscribe button. I'll keep you up to speed on everything. And like I said, I cite all the sources just like a book report, so that way you can see it for yourself. You can know this is the latest. I put the headlines on the actual screen for you, so that way you can see the dates, the sources, and know that it is the latest. Try to make sure that you guys can see everything that I'm looking at, hold myself accountable, so you can trust that this is the latest news coming out. And like I said, if you appreciate that, hit that like button, and also additional resources linked down below. If you're trying to stock up on various goods in case things do go awry, I've got various links to things you might need in case stuff goes off the rails here. And also, if you want to stay connected off of social media platforms, www.steveramnews.com is the newsletter. It is pinned in the comments for you. And also, like I said, hit that like button, subscribe, all this stuff available for you in the description below. But let's go ahead and get right to it. I see we've got a lot of people on with me right now, 2,150 people. Ray is saying he loves the updates. Let's see here. God bless you, Benjamin Netanyahu, and the IDF says Jesus is Lord. I see people checking in. Laura saying, thank you for the updates. You are very welcome. I will continue to keep you guys up to speed on everything. So let me go ahead and share with you the latest that's coming out, as they're saying that Israel will be going after nuclear here, according to this IDF leader that is predicting what the strategy might be changing to. So let's go ahead and get right to it, so that way you guys can see the latest and know exactly what is going on here. Now, Israel will strike Iran's nuclear operations. Former IDF general predicts, and this is going to be linked in the description below. You can see this just came out a little while ago today, October the 25th, 2024. Now, this article says that Israel will strike Iran's nuclear sites at some point, a former Israeli Defense IDF general told Newsweek. The world is waiting for Israel's response to Iran's firing of around 200 ballistic missiles at the country earlier this month. This followed the assassination of Hamas's political bureau chief Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran in July, and was in response to the intensification of the regime's evil with the support of the United States, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, said at the time. The latter refers to the attacks on Gaza and Lebanon. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the IDF, they have vowed to respond, stoking fears of an all-out war. Brigadier General Amir Aviv told Newsweek that he believes that Israel won't let Iran become nuclear, and sees this war as a historic opportunity to deal with the big challenge of Iran becoming a nuclear power. So they're seeing this as an opportunity to strike them and not let them get their hands on those nuclear weapons. I don't think that this is a specific attack that Israel will attack nuclear sites. He said, let me read that again. I don't think that in this specific attack, Israel will attack nuclear sites, but Israel will not stop until Iran's nuclear sites are destroyed, he said. So if it doesn't happen now, it will be happening later on. So he is saying, and I've shared this with you, that Israel has vocalized that this is going to be the beginning of a long drawn-out war. There's going to be several phases to what's going to be unfolding here. This is just phase one. They said this is not the end. again, this is just the beginning of a major war, and the duration of how long this takes place is going to be contingent upon the U.S. presidential elections. If the current administration policies are still set in place with the Kamala Harris presidency, Israel is saying they're preparing for a long, drawn-out war. However, they're saying if the Trump administration becomes the U.S. presidential leaders, the power, and they join with Israel, that they could wipe out Iran and their nuclear capabilities, they're saying literally in days. So take a look here. He went on to say that he thinks that this upcoming attack is the beginning of a long war that might take many months to really degrade Iran's capability to become a nuclear power. Avivi also addressed the U.S.'s role in this, saying that the campaign would be defined by the next administration's policies and whether they're willing to deal with Iran's military and attack their nuclear sites and their military capabilities and the regime itself. He said, so the question is Israel going to deal with this alone, or is this going to be led in the coming months by the U.S.? And this will be dependent on the results of the elections and the next administration's policies, he said. So there you have it. That is what came out from the former General Avivi, who is saying that he believes Israel will also be hitting nuclear facilities. And let me know, who do you agree with? Which administration's policies? If you agree with Trump, hit the nuclear sites, see if we can come to some form of peace, but allow Israel to defend themselves and keep pushing forward, drop a 45. If you agree with the current administration, which they're saying will be continued on with Kamala Harris, and they're saying will be Israel going at it alone, drop a 46. If you'd like to see Kamala Harris in there and you feel like we need to see a ceasefire now. Those are the two different perspectives we're hearing, and Israel is saying the United States is going to be playing a major role that will determine the future of this conflict. Now, Newsweek has contacted the Israeli Ministry of Defense and the U.S. Department of Defense via email for a response to this. It has also contacted Iran's Ministry of Foreign Affairs via email. Now, since Iran's strike on October 1st, there has been speculation about whether Israel will target Iran's nuclear programs, which has become a growing worry for the Western world, which has previously placed Tehran under sanctions in an effort to get it to agree to restrictions on its nuclear activities. Netanyahu has reportedly told the Joe Biden administration that he will not strike oil or nuclear facilities in Iran, according to two officials quoted by the Washington Post. Biden has said that he would not support Israel launching a retaliatory strike on nuclear sites in Iran, but he also reiterated his support for Israel, saying, "Make no mistake, the United States is fully supportive of Israel." Now, it comes after Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has reportedly told his military to prepare multiple different responses to an Israeli attack, but is hoping to avoid an all-out war, according to 4 Iranian officials who spoke anonymously to the New York Times this week. Now, the group, which includes 2 members of the IRCG, said Khamenei had made clear that the scope of Iran's retaliation would largely be determined by how severe Israel's attack is. They claim that striking Iran's nuclear sites was one of the several things, including hitting oil and or energy facilities and assassinating top officials, that would trigger a certain response from Tehran. So they're saying contingent upon Israel's response will determine how Iran will be responding to the retaliatory strikes. Now, this comes, as I shared with you, that Israel is changing the strategy at this time, and that is why we're hearing nuclear could be on the table. However, we just heard from the General Avivi, who said that he's predicting Israel will be attacking nuclear here in the future, but it might not be this round. And all of this is changing. Why? Because of that U.S. intel leak. Take a look at this, you guys. Now, I shared this with you yesterday as well when it came out, but I want to cover it a little bit more in detail again here, as Israel is said to have delayed their Iranian strike after the U.S. intel leak of the attack plans. It says Israel has been forced to delay a potential retaliatory attack on Iran after details of the planning were leaked from the U.S. Britain's The Times newspaper reported on Thursday yesterday. Now, according to the report, citing an unnamed intelligence source with knowledge of Israel's deliberations, Israel is worried that even though no potential targets were named in the leak, the details provided they could have helped Iran predict certain patterns of attacks. So, as a result of this, we are hearing The time frame has changed. The strategy has changed. Different things are now back on the table in consideration because Israel is concerned that Iran might be preparing for the original attack they had planned with those leaked documents coming out from U.S. intel. Now, the Times said that Israel has developed an alternative plan but needs to wargame it before proceeding. Now, the leak of the American documents delayed the attack due to the need to change certain strategies and components, the source said. There will be a retaliation, but it has taken longer than it was supposed to take, they said. So they are switching up the strategy at this time, preparing for that attack. Marked top secret, the documents first appeared online on Friday on the Telegram messaging app and quickly spread among Telegram channels popular with Iranians. So that was about a week ago that it was actually leaked. Now on Tuesday, the FBI said that it was investigating the unauthorized release of the classified documents on Israel's latest preparations for a potential retaliatory attack. Speaking to reporters in Rome, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said that there were no indications any employees from the Office of the Secretary of Defense were being probed for the leak. Now, the Islamic Republic has been bracing for an Israeli reprisal after its latest direct attack on Israel, in which it fired 200 ballistic missiles that sent most of Israel to bomb shelters on October 1st, assassinating one Palestinian man in the West Bank and caused damage in residential areas and at military bases. The IDF said there was no operational impact from the attack. Iran said that the missile assault came in a response to strikes in Lebanon that ended the top leadership of the Iranian-backed Hezbollah terror group and a July blast in Tehran that ended the Hamas Politburo head Ismail Haniyeh. Israel has not claimed responsibility for the assassination of that latter. Now, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant on Wednesday, 2 days ago, told pilots and aircraft crews that after we strike in Iran, everyone will understand what you did in the preparation and training process. And again, Yoav Gallant saying that this will be a strong hit, a precise hit, and it will be shocking, that it will shock the world. Visiting the Hatzerim Air Force Base, Gallant said everyone who dreamed a year ago of beating us and attacking us paid a heavy price and are no longer in that dream. Israel has held several major drills simulating long-range strikes on Iran over the years in preparation for a possible confrontation with Tehran. Netanyahu told U.S. President Joe Biden earlier this month that Israel's retaliation will not include strikes on non-military sites. That was before things have now changed. Israel had previously been thought to be mulling attacks on Iranian oil infrastructure or nuclear sites, both opposed by the U.S. for their potential to escalate fighting, including Iranian reprisals aimed at civilian infrastructure in Israel or other regional states aligned with the West. However, Israel has signaled that its expected retaliation for the missile barrage could be widened as a result of a Hezbollah drone attack on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's private home in Caesarea on Saturday, which the premier has referred to as an attempted assassination by agents of Iran. So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts. Everything has changed as a result of that, and now we're having these warnings coming out from former Israeli commanders saying it all could be changing to the point where nuclear sites will be targets, and he said he predicts Israel will be hitting nuclear facilities. M. Brandon, 315, thank you for the $5 super chat. Will Russia side with Iran if the U.S. and Israel attacks? Would Russia attack the U.S.? Great question, Brandon. I will continue to keep you up to date on everything, but we're hearing that Russia is supporting Iran. They gave a warning to Israel, do not hit their nuclear facilities. We're hearing China, North Korea, Russia, Iran, they are all working hand in hand. Our adversaries are unifying. It appears that sides are being drawn in what they're now calling a global conflict. And I shared with you earlier that Jamie Dimon came out and said World War III has already started. It is already here. That in the previous world wars, after they write up the information for the history books, they then determine when it started after the war is done. And he's saying it's already started. It might have started in 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine. It might have started October 7, 2023 when Hamas came in and attacked Israel. But he is saying that they believe that things have already popped off. We are already in the midst of World War III. and is just escalating. But when they go back and write the history books, he said World War III is already here. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Bobby Jackson, thank you for the $10 super chat. Something fixing to happen, but when though? Thank you for that super chat, and we will see. I will keep you up to date as we're hearing that things are escalating. Now, when it unfolds, whatever takes place, I'll be sure to let you know here on the channel. I will keep you up to speed on everything so you know exactly what is taking place. Now, as I mentioned, we've already received a response that has come out from Iran. They are saying that the THAAD missile systems that have been sent from the United States to Israel to help them defend, they said, that is not going to be enough. That is a limited system, and what we're about to fire at you, they said, you're not going to be ready for what is coming. Take a look at the latest headlines coming out in the last 24 hours. Iran warns America's limited THAAD missile systems. They will not be enough to protect Israel. We will destroy you, they said. Now, it says the commander of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard claimed yesterday, that America's anti-missile defense systems, they will not be enough to protect Israel from Tehran, warning, we will destroy you. IRGC Major General Hossein Salami warned Israel against attacking Tehran in retaliation for the October 1st ballistic missile barrage, saying that even the new Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, or the THAAD systems, they would fail to secure Israel's safety and victory in the conflict. Do not rely on THAAD. They have limited capabilities, Salmani said, according to the Iranian state media. And here you can see photos of them getting those ready. It says, you cannot win this conflict. We will destroy you, he added. The Defense Department shipped the THAAD missile defense system earlier this month following Iran's October 1st strike and growing tensions with the Islamic Republic and its terror proxies. The THAAD system generally consists of 6 truck-mounted launchers, 49 interceptors, and radio and radar equipment, with 95 soldiers needed to operate it. The system would bolster Israel's defense with several U.S. destroyers and battleships already in the Middle East to help deflect any more barrages from Iran. The ship had previously assisted in intercepting Iranian fire in April and in October. Now, while Israel has the Arrow and the David Sling anti-missile systems to intercept even ballistic missile fire from across the border, the systems are not designed to take on such a large volume of rockets like the one that Iran has fired. And the more famous Iron Dome system is primarily designed to guard against short-range rockets fired from Gaza or Lebanon. Now, the need for the THAAD system also comes as Israel reportedly faces a shortage of interceptor missiles after more than a year of enduring barrages from Hezbollah and Hamas. The IDF estimates that Hezbollah and Hamas have fired more than 26,000 rockets and drones over the border since October 7th, the vast majority of which have been taken out by Israel's defense systems. Israel's munition issue is serious. Dana Stroll, a former U.S. defense official, told the Financial Times, if Iran responds to an Israeli attack and Hezbollah joins in too, Israel's air defenses will be stretched, he said. Here's another article giving us a little more detail from the Jerusalem Post. This came out in the last 24 hours as well, that says, don't count on THAAD for protection. IRGC issues a renewed threat to Israel. Don't count on the THAAD. Every time that you fire a projectile, we will fire more than you, Salmani reported. And here you can see a picture of them with those warnings. IRGC Chief Hossein Salmani issued new threats to Israel on Thursday yesterday, warning the country not to count on the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, or THAAD, anti-ballistic missile system to protect them. Saudi media site Al Hadath reported. The comment came as Iran has been awaiting Israeli retaliation for its aerial attacks earlier this month. The U.S. military rushed the THAAD advanced anti-missile system to Israel, and U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin described it as being in place on Monday. Now, don't count on THAAD. Don't count on THAAD. Every time you fire a projectile, we will fire more than you, Salmani reportedly said. Austin declined to say whether the THAAD system was operational. However, he added that we have the ability to put it into operations very quickly, and we're on pace with our expectations. Now, Salmani started that Iran's October 1st missile attack on Israel. Salmani stated that Iran's October 1st missile attack on Israel was proof that the THAAD system was incapable of protecting Israel. This was said despite the fact that the system was not in use in Israel during the time of that October attack. The Zionist entity is wrong, and the True Promise 2 operation proved the failure of its defense systems. The THAAD system will not succeed in protecting it, he said. So warnings coming out from Iran that they will be attacking Israel. They will be retaliating against Israel's retaliatory strike that is going to be coming here. And they're saying that the THAAD systems that have been sent over from the United States, they will not be enough to protect them, that they're planning on overwhelming them with massive strikes that will be coming here. Now, as I shared with you, we have warnings coming out today from the United States and for Israel all over the world. The U.S. has issued these warnings, but former President Donald Trump coming out and saying, listen, we don't have to end the entire Iranian regime. We don't have to put an end to them. We could come to some form of peace, he is suggesting. Now, this comes as Iran also has hits out on Donald Trump. We're hearing that there are groups that are putting together assassination attempts against him. We're also hearing there are groups that want to do various attacks here. We've heard warnings from the FBI of sleeper cells here in the United States, planning to do physical attacks, cyber attacks, specific warnings surrounding the elections on November 5th. And now we're even hearing warnings about after the elections, from the time of the elections to the time of the swearing in of the new president. So things are escalating. They're saying they're intensifying, and things are not slowing down. But Trump is saying he believes there is a solution to come to peace. Former President Donald Trump claimed in an interview on Thursday yesterday that Israel would not necessarily have to end Iran's theoretical regime if he were to return to the White House, suggesting the Republican nominee would encourage peace talks between the two enemies. Now, it says, asked by host Hugh Hewitt whether he believed that he could get Israel and our Gulf state allies to get rid of that Iranian regime before they get a nuke, Trump, 78, said Iran may be willing to negotiate a settlement instead. Well, I don't necessarily know that you have to, but I think that we are in a much better position, Trump said. Had Israel followed Biden's advice, they would be waiting for a bomb to drop onto them. But fortunately, you know, Bibi Netanyahu calls me quite a bit. And we have had a lot of talks, but I always said, make up your own mind. But Bibi has his own opinions, he said. Now, had Bibi listened to Biden, he would right now be waiting for a nuclear bomb to drop on his head, okay? The 45th president reiterated. And now the opposite. He put them in a very good negotiating position. I think he could survive this. You want to know? I think that he's in a position where he can fight them, or he can make a deal, and a good deal, a real deal, he said. Now, still, when Hewitt asked if Trump would use force to stop Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon if necessary, the former president answered that he would. I really think that Iran right now can be spoken to very easily. And 3 or 4 months ago, or a few months ago, I think it would have been much harder, he said. So right now, Donald Trump coming out and saying that Iran is in a very vulnerable position with what has unfolded with the conflict in the Middle East. And he's saying right now, we could go ahead and move forward and wipe them out, or we could start negotiations. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Should Israel keep pushing and just simply eradicate the threat by force and wipe them out? Or do you think that they should start negotiations? If you think that they should just keep pushing and totally wipe them out, go ahead and drop a 5. If you think that they should maybe consider negotiations at this point, Trump said that they are in a good position for negotiations. Put a 6. I'll be curious to see people's thoughts here. If they think that they just need to wipe them out because they are potentially a future threat, or if there are some form of talks and negotiations that can be done. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, 5 or 6. And while you're dropping those, don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't done so yet. Help spread this out further so more people can get the latest updates. I see we got about 2,545 people with me live in the room, 1,420 likes, we can get some more likes in there, it just helps spread this out further so more people can get the updates. And make sure to subscribe to stay up to date. Now, Trump also said yesterday, that he could reach a similar understanding with Chinese President Xi Jinping, who he said would treat Vice President Kamala Harris like a baby. Man, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And I've heard a lot of people vocalize this as well, saying they're not really confident in Kamala Harris's ability to deal with foreign leaders. And here we have Trump saying that Xi Jinping is going to treat her like a baby. But we've heard that President Donald Trump, that when he was the president, there were no wars that were started while he was leading the United States. And he claims that this is because the other foreign leaders respect him and they don't want to cause conflict while he is the president. And he is saying that with the current administration, with Biden in there, that the other leaders, the world leaders, have become emboldened to go ahead and do what they want. So right now they're saying that Trump is saying that if he gets in there, he believes that he can negotiate with Xi Jinping, he can negotiate with Iran, and he's saying if Kamala Harris gets in there, she's going to be treated like a baby by these foreign leaders. He'd take all the candy away very quickly. She wouldn't have any idea what happened, he said. It would be like a grand chess master playing a beginner. We would lose our country or be in World War III, he said. It could be that would happen too, Trump added of Harris, because she'd get exasperated. She's in no way able to handle him. He's a fierce individual, he said. Asked by Hewitt whether Trump could detour Xi from attacking Taiwan, Trump said that he didn't think the Chinese dictator is a threat to America if you have the right president, he said. So Donald Trump again vocalizing that he thinks he's going to be able to deal with Xi Jinping and the Chinese regime at this time. I got along with him very good. I was tough on him too. I had, we took in 400 billion plus worth of tariffs, he said. He wasn't thrilled with that, but I had a good relationship with him until COVID. That was a bridge too far, and I broke it up. Hewitt then pressed Trump again, noting Xi is leaning in pretty hard on Taiwan right now. He encircled the island this week with their live fire drills, the Salem radio host said. Do you think you can stop him from this nonsense? Because it would crash the world economy if he did that. Trump responded by saying that Xi would rather take Taiwan under the Biden-Harris administration than his own. You don't know what's going to happen, he said. He'd rather do it under them than to have to do it under me. It's very simple, Trump said. So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts. If you agree with Donald Trump, if you think he's going to do a much better job than Kamala Harris, drop a 45. And if you think that Harris will do okay, drop a 46. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, you guys. But like I said, we're hearing that things are escalating in the Middle East. Conflict is growing. We're receiving warnings. And Israel is saying, we're hearing a former IDF general predicting that Israel will be here very soon hitting nuclear operations in Iran. So we're hearing that that is going to be escalating here very soon. And he said that what is going to be coming with this retaliatory strike from Israel to Iran, this is just the beginning of several phases of retaliatory strikes, and they are preparing for a long, drawn-out war here coming. So they're saying that this is going to be escalating significantly, and like I shared with you, threats coming out from Iran saying that the U.S. THAAD missile system is limited. It will not be enough for what Iran is planning against Israel. So they're saying they're planning major missile attacks against Israel. Israel is preparing to hit them and their nuclear facilities, we're hearing here, potentially very soon. Now, the general said he didn't know if that was the route that they would be going this round. And like I shared with you, originally we had heard that Israel said that they would not be doing anything of that sort, the United States and Russia warning against it. But now that has all changed with the leak that has come out with the U.S. intel sharing information. It's been on the Telegram channels of various Iranian-supported stations. And now we're hearing that Israel is saying as a result of this, it is all changing. The strategy has changed, the timing has changed, and now we're hearing warnings of potential nuclear operations being hit So we will see, because things are definitely escalating and quickly. And a lot of people saying, like I shared with you, that this could be leading us up to World War III, as we're seeing global conflict taking place, various nations joining together, sides coming together, as we're seeing North Korea joining Russia, South Korea joining Ukraine, the United States supporting Israel, Iran getting backing from Russia, Russia getting backing from China. So things are escalating and quickly, you guys. And we're hearing this could be the beginnings of global conflict. And like I shared with you, Jamie Dimon coming out and saying World War III is already started. He said, World War III is not coming around the corner. We're already in the middle of this. It is just escalating and escalating. And when they write the history books, he said it's likely World War III already started maybe back in 2022, 2023. And we're hearing that nuclear attacks on nuclear facilities, they could be coming here very, very soon. So, like I said, though, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to speed on everything. I saw that we had that question coming in from Bobby Jackson, that the warnings are coming, but when are things going to start happening? We have no information. We're likely not going to get any preemptive information coming in as a result of the leaks coming out from the United States. But I do know that when things do happen, I will be sure to hop on and let you guys know, so you know exactly what is taking place. And as always, I'll cite all the sources, put it on the screen, read right from it, so you know that it is the latest. And if you appreciate that, you guys, do me a favor. Don't forget, take a quick second, if you haven't done so yet, hit that like button. I see we got about 2,500 people on with me live. 1,649 likes just helps spread this out further so more people can get the latest updates. And also subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. These articles that I've referenced today, they are linked in the description for you, and also additional resources down below. And like I shared with you, there could be potentially cyber attacks. There have been warnings coming out from the FBI and other agencies within the United States saying that there could be cyber attacks as we approach elections. So social media platforms, there have been warnings about communications, transportations, electrical grids, water systems, our hospital systems, all these things potentially getting hit. So consider joining the newsletter pinned in the comments, www.steveramnews.com, to stay connected on the newsletter in case communications were to go down for a little bit. But like I said, you guys, I'll keep you up to speed on everything. That is the latest. Thank you so much for joining me. And like I've said before, if you have not done so yet, get out and go vote early. Go get your vote in ahead of time. Do not wait for the 5th. We want to make sure everyone's voice is heard and early, because there are warnings of attacks coming. And that alert coming out today. So go in, take care of that, let your voice be heard, and say a prayer for our nation. And don't be scared, be prepared. I'll keep you guys up to speed on everything. That is the latest, you guys. Thank you so much. Catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.